childcare in between. Physics, art, and math guide us down this path. Historical tales come alive, where science and stories dive. Blended facts with heart, knowledge from the start. Need bridge blues we sing to the future memory. Health and science in the mix. Need got the fix. Complex subjects make
right
clear
now
every episode
in ways that we actually acquire
leads the way,
and ways that make me more efficient.
in the world of digital streams, turning knowledge into dreams. Through the tales of old, new stories unfold.
Thank you so much for joining with me. It is truly an honor and a privilege.
MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live program.
Hey, welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Ramana Annamaraju. My lighting is a little bit missing up here, but bear with me. I have a very interesting program today, and the doctors from North Carolina joining. They are originally from Nepal, the land of Buddha. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to ask questions. I'm going to present a topic on the polymaths. Axinia Starr she is a friend of mine from Austria. She says that the future of the physicians has to be multidisciplinary thinking, has to be there. That's what she says. So I think that is going to be, because if you wanted to innovate something, you need to have some background. So the guest I'm getting today, she's also wrote some parts of coding. She did design the childcare thing, the platform. So doctors need to get exposed to the different kind of disciplines nowadays to be really in front of the forefront of the innovation. That's what this channel is all about. Teaching not only just the medicine, mathematics and physics and technology, all of them, a combination of all of them, philosophy and Buddhist philosophy, all of them together. The music that you hear, I have a strange connection with Nepal. I am a good friend of very famous actor. His name is Sunil Thapa. He came here. He went to school in Andhra Pradesh. He speaks Telugu, my language. That's my original language is. Then we invited him for the film festival here in Silicon Valley, and we gave him an award. And we had a very good time. And then a couple of actors came from Silicon Valley. From Nepal. She's a Adhikari, Malla Adhikari, I think. So she is the one. She's an actress. She's in serials or something, but she climbed Everest. She's one of the very few actors climbed Everest. So this is a land of Buddha. I'm getting a Manisha Ghimire. She's an internal medicine doctor. I interviewed a few doctors. I used to place a lot of doctors. With some of the Indian women and all the Nepalese foreign women come to me, even in Romanian, they used to come to me. I am a board certified in pediatric cardiology, board certified in OBGYN, board certified in internal medicine. Can you find me one day a week job? Why did you go to school all this way? Then I understood, after having my own children, really the struggles, because it is really a struggle. To be honest with you, that is a lot of mothers. They go through a guilt feeling. It is a part of guilt. It is a part of I'm not doing enough for my children, because they carry 9 months. It's a very tough balancing act. It is we men need to pay attention more. To be honest with you, that's missing. I didn't even realize it when I was placing doctors. Why she went to college for that many years and she wants to work only one day a week? It doesn't make any sense. So Now the Manisha Ghimire, she's joining from Raleigh, North Carolina. She is so that's a part of the problem, that taking care of the children. Another is finding a trusted care, because still you love medicine, you got to go to the work. And how do you find a care, child's care? I went through it. We had actually woman from Nepal came and stayed in my house. She raised my both kids. No, sorry, at least my son. Devi, a name. That is a very. So it's not a easy. It's not an easy thing. That we could not able to find a trusted childcare until we found that woman from Nepal. So it is really fascinating. This is a balancing act. We need to really man, and the internal systems, healthcare systems, need to understand, need to be more compassionate, more understanding systems there. But Manisha Ghimire, what she did was she went on all the 50 states licenses, and she's doing only telemedicine. So she wanted to escape that guilt feeling, probably. Let me bring her to the table. Manisha Ghimire, she's joining from Raleigh, North Carolina. She's internal medicine doctor. Welcome, Manisha.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm already enjoying your talk, and it's so wonderful to see you and talk to you again today.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you, I know that you went through as a mother ch- taking care of children. Tell us that journey, how difficult it is. How did you come to this point? I'm done with it. Going to the hospitals, going to this primary care places. I'm going to stay at home and do the. So, how did the journey started for you?
So, I mean, I came here for my residency. I did medical school in Nepal and came here for residency. So I had my first kid when I was resident, and doing residency and having a child, it's like really, really hard. Even during that time, I didn't know how like the breastfeeding works, lactation works. I had such a hard time that I didn't even know that I can hire someone lactation or someone to help me with the breastfeeding. So I didn't even breastfeed my son because I could not do it then. And that's just the stress of going back to work like within 6 weeks, and just like, okay, how am I going to do that in the workplace, and just that whole anxiety. I did not breastfeed my son, and that guilt was always there. And when my daughter then I went to work, and then my daughter was born, and she was born special needs. She could not feed. She went to ICU for like more than 2 months, and it was like roller coaster of feelings and emotional support. There was not much emotional support, there was not much social support. I had a parents came in from Nepal, but she had G tube. She was really sick, really tiny baby. So like anyone was hesitant to care for her. Like it was really, I mean, I can't explain like how difficult the situation and scenario was then, but it was really, really, really hard. Just not finding the right care, not finding the right people. Like how do people even get, and being a physician working, and then like taking care of the sick kid, when like, oh, like we know everything, but then when the reality kicks in, then you don't know what you're getting into, right? So that had kept me from like my daughter, like, because I had to care for her. So I changed to night shift. I started doing nights, and then taking care of her during the day. I got some help, but then that help was not enough. Then slowly I was like overwhelmed, like a lot of aches and pains everywhere in the body, like not sleeping throughout the night and only getting minimal sleep during the day. I mean, it was really hard. And that's what, when I decided changing to like, I need something else. What can I do to make sure I'm home, but I'm also like, functioning as a physician, like, taking care of my patient and also my family. And that's how I transitioned to telemedicine after 5 years doing nights. So it was a big transition, but I went like all through in, because I was like, I can't like just like, wait for the patient, because I want to be able to see all the patients, only work 6 hours, but I maximize like mine that 6 hour as much as possible. So that's why I was like, okay, let me get all state license, then I can see patient from everywhere, so I can maximize how much I'm like 6 hours I'm working, I can maximize my potential then, and then take care of my kids.
Manisha,
So that's how I went to
yeah,
telemedicine.
Manisha, that is one of the big struggle. Then the second struggle is finding a childcare, trusted childcare. What is that
Yes.
journey? Tell us a little bit about that journey. That's how, what kind of a struggles you went through finding a childcare. I hear all kinds of stories, nanny camps and all these things. So tell us that
Yeah. Oh
struggles.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a couple of au pairs in the beginning, and we had a very good experience with one, but then once they are done, like once so she stayed for 2 years, so that's what like best because she was there, she was able to help me. But then like everyone I hired, I had to like someone was stealing things, someone was doing accidents in the car, like then I went through the company to find someone, and then that also like same thing, like not being, they always like rushing to get, because my schedule was not flexible, so I sometimes I need to stay 1 hour more in the hospital, and if I would call her like to stay 1 hour, she would be like, no, it's my time, I'm already done, like why you are not here. So like it did not match my schedule and their schedule. Sometimes like with kids and the medical professional, it can be challenging, especially hiring the childcare. So yeah, so that's like it was traumatic.
Yeah, I can imagine. Is
So
that
yeah, it was really traumatic. I did use some of the website, I did use friends and families then, but even like hiring, even very initially, like right lactations, and then like when my daughter was born, like therapies, and for myself going through like depression, having like not able to speak with mental health therapists, like in every step of my journey there was something lagging and not able to find that support. So that was nagging me, and that's the reason why I build this website, build this
yeah.
platform where I'm trying to connect now so that they don't face same challenges that I faced.
1 second. I wanted to ask you that you jumped into the Silicon Valley world. You wanted to innovate something, innovation. That requires a lot of different thinking because, the computers think very different, step by step, like a baby. You're teaching a baby steps. You have to do username and passwords and the step by step. And then also, what when you create a platform, what are the things, because you are experienced mother, you
Mhm.
understand that you hired before all the au
Mhm.
pairs. So what are the things you checking the parameters you wanted to build, that not only technology, what are the things that you wanted to check on those kind of a trusted child care?
First of all, first thing I wanted to make sure they were professional. Like I'm mostly focusing on postpartum because that's where I struggle the most. And I'm trying to make sure what are the professional that's absolutely needed during that period, and really focus on those professional. One. Next, I'm making sure they are trusted. I usually ask them to give me either certificates or license or some kind of CV or something that I can verify they are trusted, they had good reviews, like they are one of the good ones around. So making sure they are trusted and not like random anyone can join. So I want to make sure that's there in place. Then I had also to make sure there are, for the moms, I want to make sure they are taken care of. So I'm, what are the challenges they can happen, what are the things they can go through during the postpartum period. So all those questions needs to be answered in the blog, so that when their mom goes there and have some question, they can find the answer there.
You
um,
know, yeah. Mothers are the right people for this. I tell you why. I have a small experience in this one. I was working. My wife was working at the time. My ex-wife, right? She was working, and we had two kids. So I was traveling quite a bit because I was placing doctors around the country on J1
Mhm.
doctors and traveling extensive. Monday I'm going, coming back on Friday or Saturday.
Uh-huh.
So when I was doing that, one day I found in New York City JFK airport, I found a lady, Indian lady. She came to me, and then she said that she's looking for a job as a au pair. She can take care of the good, and she said that I will cook excellent Indian food. I will take care of your kids, and I will teach them Hindi and all those things. I
Uh-huh.
was so impressed. I said I'm going to bring her with me. So that I told I called my wife, and then I said that, can I bring her? No, she said that no, no, no. Check one do the at least one verification. Do that. So I asked her, give me your one of your relatives, and she gave me her sister's number. And I called her sister. Then she said, "Oh my God!" She ran away from the halfway house. She ran away from the halfway house mental health institution. She ran away.
Oh my
That is, thank God, I'm a dumb man. As a man, we don't think all those things. So I would have got into a lot of trouble because this kind of things, is a trusted child care means it's a serious problem. It is a real story. That what I'm saying. It is a very very sensitive subject, and it's a very a lot of pressure, no question on mothers.
God.
So you created this platform. How did you learn the coding or technology side of it? Or I mean, you have to take some other help, but you have to learn
Yeah.
different thinking. How did you do that?
So I went, so it is a no code platform. So I didn't have to do the coding part, but I did the coaching for 3 months. I learned how to do step by step, how to create the platform. And then I built the platform by myself. And then later part, I could not finish it like at the end, like making it more nicer or look better. So I had to hire a developer to finish that, like 20% of the part that it was not done. So but I had to go through, oh God, it was painful. It was difficult than going to medical school for sure.
Not only Manisha, not only you have a lot of these pressures of taking care of the children, creating a technology platform. You have also Asian husband, which is from Nepal. Is we are all demanding people a little bit, whether he agrees or not. So you have to take care of him. That is. So let me bring him. You must be a nice guy to accommodate all these things. Yeah, that Ananti Subedi, his name, is a rheumatologist from joining from. Can you come down? Come, just slide it down a little bit. I cannot see him. I maybe put this one. Maybe that. Yeah, now I can see both of you. So, Dr. Ananta Subedi, tell us how did you? So you're a specialist. So what? How did you put up with this? Is so much pressure raising kids, and one of the challenging kids you have that requirement of a special need kid. How do you do that, and what kind of support role you played in this whole process?
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting us, and it's very nice meeting you and all of the viewer and listeners. Now, your question on how we manage, I think we have been a good team player. So I think we always tag team, and whenever I get time, I support Manisha. Manisha always there to support me. So I think if we have a good teamwork between the husband and wife, I think anything is possible.
So you know how to cook Nepalese food then.
I do cook a little bit, but not as good as Manisha.
That's very sure. Let me ask you: you're a specialist in rheumatology. You came from Nepal originally. So let us talk about a little bit about Nepal in the healthcare system in Nepal. I don't know much about it. I have a lot of friends from Nepal. Is it similar to India? Is a private healthcare and a government healthcare system combination of those things?
Right now there is a little bit of evolution in healthcare, but until like a couple of years back, it's most of them is self-pay. Like you pay out of pocket and then you get the service. So it's relatively very simple. Like if you get sick, you go to the hospital or you go to the clinic, you see the doctor there on the spot, you pay the cash, and then you get the service. Now there is some evolution that the insurance market is coming over there. So there is now a concept of insurance, but even then it's a small portion of the overall healthcare market.
Let me ask you, you're a rheumatologist. Is it because of the mountains? You are the Himalayas are there, so you're in the mountains. is it more prone to the rheumatoid arthritis and other diseases more there because of the mountains, or just is a normal, is nothing special about it in the arthritis part of it?
Overall, the overall prevalence incidence is lower than what we see here in the US. I think it might be because of the better environment there, less pollution, most likely. And there might be some genetic differences too, but overall the prevalence incidence is lower than in the US. But still, there is significant number of people who have rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and other autoimmune conditions. And there are now, it's getting better. Overall, the number of rheumatoid is significantly less in the country, but overall the things are getting better.
So you also face a lot of mountaineers going to Everest, right? They
Uh-huh.
have this problems with the mountain problem,
Yeah.
arthritis, pains, all kinds of. Do you deal with those kind when you were there? The specialists are dealing with those kind of people from other countries.
Now, typically those type of joint pain are not truly a arthritis. Now, this is more of a aches and pains, maybe osteoarthritis is more
Also,
common.
okay.
But like rheumatoid arthritis in general is very similar to what we see here in the US compared to Nepal. So it's not a lot of difference on the disease pathology.
Okay. So let me ask you here in here this lupus, you take care of the lupus guys, you take care of the rheumatoid arthritis, or joint pains probably. So it is challenging in the United States. What do you think of this evolution of this? We are also not perfect. We are going through, our system is frustrating a lot of people. The patients are not happy, doctors are not happy, healthcare system is falling apart. What do you think? What do you suggest? We need to change in the system that to do better and make all of us a little bit happier.
I think it's overall the theme, the environment, but overall I do feel that our healthcare system had a lot of strengths. There are some weaknesses, I do agree, but we have a lot of strengths. We have the best treatment possible we have available. We have so much research going on in this area. I'll use the example of rheumatoid arthritis. Now, I will think of rheumatoid arthritis. I think of my grandma who had rheumatoid arthritis.
Mm.
So she almost died because of RA because she didn't have any treatment options. She lived on ibuprofen. But now I have more than 10 FDA approved drug for rheumatoid arthritis. So if I compare those two scenarios, I should be thankful that I have so many options. I know
Okay.
this is not perfect. The drug are expensive, but overall things have gone better in the last 20 years. Now, regarding the problem, I think the cost of the drug is one of the main problem. The affordability, the accessibility is a problem, which is a more of a system problem that we need to work as a system to make those drugs affordable. But overall, I'm very hopeful guy. So I always think a brighter future. So there hopefully it'll get better with time.
Absolutely. So now your wife did a platform, technology platform. You came to Silicon Valley world
Yep,
of
yep.
our world. Tell us a little bit of that experience. How do you support that technology side of it? Did you learn a little bit technology, or you working on? What are the things that you went through?
I'm the cheerleader.
Cheerleader.
I'm the cheerleader. So I always clap her when she's doing well. I always support her when she's feeling down. I say, you can do it. It's just time. Like you just keep on going. You just need to persevere because nothing is easy in life. Nothing comes easy.
So technology is, one of the things I always tell them, that I have a setup here. Every time something is not going to work 100% with the technology, something is always goes here and there. It is a challenging always. There's a technology therapy we need it, for all of us.
Yep,
so,
yep.
so we are both you are really, team together working and trying to solve one of these countries' problems. In general, problem is not just is not your problem alone. I met so many doctors that they have, particularly they have children. They go through a lot of struggles to find a child care, or taking care of the guilt feeling, all those things. It is not a unique problem at all. It is a universal problem. It's may not, even it is not just for limited to the United States. It could be the entire world. This is the same problem. So you're solving one of the great problems there. I think, Manisha, you need to. What is the name of the website, Manisha?
It's called Momkinz.
Momkinz. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
put that in the with you together. You can, when you go to the three dots on the right side, I'm going to teach you a little bit. You go to see your thing. There is a three dots there. You can edit name. You can put your what is it? Momkinz, right?
Yeah,
Momkinz.com.
Momkinz.
M Momkinz as in zebra.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay. So I did that. See that if I did it right or
Oh,
not.
yes. Mom.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good.
Thank
So
you.
that's they can come to that submit their needs, and you can give them a little bit of a. I know lots of doctors who are going through this problem. It's not just you alone. They don't know what is. At least you took a next step. You know
Yes.
what? For this to this is one of the reason I used to be in healthcare. I was in all the healthcare all my life, 30 years. I'm not a doctor, but I used to own imaging center. I ran imaging center. I did a placing doctors all over the country. I did a lot of these things: MRI center, CT, PET CT scan. I did everything. But one thing I said that the doctors now they have to be multidisciplinary kind of at least exposure. They need to have some exposure. The internet became famous. The technology, Indians and then foreigners learned faster. You know why? Because they're talking with their grandmother, father, mother, the older parents. So they need really learn the technology faster than Native Americans, in fact. That's so we are exposed to the multidisciplinary thinking in the very beginning itself. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story about that. I'm going to present to both of you a topic on the polymath. What is the future physicians, or how they came out, how they evolved into. Then after that, I come back and ask you, both of you, your dedication to the whole thing, and how you are helping the people, the mothers and also patients. That's most important. And your 50 state. The treatments, that's a great lot of actually in Silicon Valley they need you, because I tell you a lot of mothers come here, fathers come here. That is a great opportunity for you. They can get a hold of you. So let me present a topic on in the little bit of let me we're going to watch together, all of us. So you can come and comment anything you wanted so I present a topic in general. It is called um, okay. This is Manisha Ghimire. She said that, Manisha Ghimire. And her husband's name is Ananthi Subedi. Subedi is a very common name. I know about it. But I didn't. Her last name is a little bit different. Both are really trailblazing physicians. Let me talk about the little bit of polymath background. Polymath physicians of the future, how they're going to be, what they are. So, you know, this is my thing. That's the reason I started it. My channel is basically what I'm doing is I have a lot of swag materials, the merchandise I sell on the website. All the first physicians of cardiologists, the different historical figures. I do that. I have a podcast. I use a lot of doctors come on my show, and I interviewed more than 200 doctors, a lot of CEOs, including right now Manisha and her husband. But I'm going to talk about a little bit about a polymath. What is a polymath is? Okay, polymaths are like a little Buddha in a sense. They are physicians. Polymath is a multidisciplinary people who are experts in multidisciplinary areas. But I'm going to focus on physicians who are multidisciplinary. Who is a poet, a physician, poet, astronomer, mathematician, philosopher, math, physics, astronomy. They did all those things. Doctors. So like they're doing technology. See, there's two husband and a wife. They're doing technology. That's a kind of a polymath. So actually, a lot of people don't know this. Warren McCall is the first doctor actually invented this neural network. AI, artificial intelligence, is based on a neural network. It's based on simulating the neural network, how they work. Actually, he created the McCall-Pitts neuron. It is a mathematical representation of the neuron. Actually, it's called McCall-Pitts. He's a doctor. He's a computer scientist. He wrote a lot of programs, like Manisha now, mathematician and poet. He wrote a lot of children's books. Can you believe that this guy is all over the place? 1898 he was born, and 1969. A lot of people don't know this. Everybody, Silicon Valley, everybody claims, yeah, they are the first ones, AI. But really, AI, the father of the AI, is a doctor. Warren McCall is a medical doctor. So, so enhanced problem solving skills, what they need to have, adaptability of in a rapidly changing world, improved communication. All of them are the skill sets of the approach to a patient, for example, problem solving, and the technology, data sciences. You need to know a little bit. Patient from different, patients from a different ethnic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. You need to understand that is all but first and foremost, if there is a polymath doctor, you need to talk about is the Ibn Sina. Avicenna is called. He is a physician, astronomer, medical author. He's a philosopher. He's an amazing. They call him Amir. Amir means he's almost physicians of physicians. Einstein of medicine he is. So he is he is in the that first he wrote the first book on cardiology. I'm going to the American College of Cardiology meeting actually. First book on cardiac diseases, Kitab al Advait Kulb, I think that's what they say. It is the first book on cardiology. He wrote in 900 AD. That's 900 years, 900, 1000 AD. He wrote the book on the cardiology. He is the first calcium channel blocker, natural blocker. Zernob is English yew tree. He took it out, and his Zernob, he took that, and then he's using the pressure on the heart. So Zernob is a medicine. He took it out from the English yew tree, very poisonous tree. When you took it out, the fruits are very sweet. You took it out, and the Zernob, he extracted Zernob. That is, he invented the lie detector test. He's one of the first pulsology guy. So he used to say that he was using a lie detector for the different reasons. He used to watch the pulse, tell me your girlfriend's the love of your address. So tell me the country name first, the name of the street, name of the house. Then the pulse is going up and they come. So he said that this is the first time he used to say that this is the pulsology. He's one of the experts in pulsology, Ibn Sina. Then he wrote, and then he discovered the first Venus. The planet Venus he discovered. He invented the tripod. You see, Manisha is doing all the platform now. At that 2,000 years ago, he was doing 1,000 years ago, he invented the tripod. Can you believe that? That is with the limited resources they have. So he is also UNESCO actually. He book and for 1,000 years. His books are standard in the Western world. Canon of Medicine. He wrote 6 volumes of the medicine. Canon of Medicine, he wrote that. UNESCO actually instituted a prize called Avicenna Prize, Ethics and Science, on his name. United Nations. So he is a true polymath physician. He is multidisciplinary guy. He did everything. So one of the things that So one of the thing is that is actually why I call him Einstein of medicine. Just 1 second. Principles of equivalence. The Einstein did that. If you drop a hammer and the feather of a bird, if there is no air, they fall on the same time. There's no difference. Actually, this tested in the moon. Astronauts, Apollo 11 tested. They dropped the hammer and the feather. It dropped same time. That's called principle. The gravity works same way on all of them. Same. That's a very strange. It's a counterintuitive. It's called principle of equivalence. That is Einstein's. That discovered that. Then he says that he came up with Einstein thought about it. When somebody falling from the sky, he doesn't feel the weight. That is but he's still aware of his body. That is, he calls it soul. So he is talking about very philosopher. He's a truly philosopher. There's a lot of the other doctors there. This Michelle Bechet, she's a president of Chile. She's a military strategist. She's a doctor. So she worked in observatories. So she's the president of Chile, Republic of Chile. Is a physician president. She is a top-notch commander, military strategist. So there are a lot of modern day um, people are there. So she was a actress. She was a singer in the group called Last Clap Clap Last Clap Clap. That's a kind of a musical group. She was touring around Chile in the southern in the Latin countries. Her father was a general. Alberto Bechet is a general, but the last picture of that there was a revolution happened in the Chile, and then there's a last picture of Salvatore Allende was killed during that process. Then her father was ousted, and then it was a traumatic time for her. She went through a lonely life for a long time, and then she became a president of the same country. Think about that. So struggles are always good. It will teach you something. So she did a lot of them in healthcare. She's a doctor. The reason is that she's a doctor. So she changed the healthcare system in Chile. She supported all the she came back with a very indigenous woman of Chile. What she did was provided a maternity care, child care, all those things, because she understood as a woman. We are all men. We don't understand all those things, but she understood. So she is one of the pioneering things that there is an Indian doctor, that came to the same time as a Buddha, where these two doctors are from, the land of Buddha. Sushruta, he's from Rajasthan, that area. He is close to the Nepal border, I think. So he's first cosmetic surgeon. He used to perform rhinoplasty. This is Sushruta. He's a 600 BC before Christ, 600 years before that. All is a medical school. He conducted a medical entrance exam. 600 BC. I don't think about that. People are coming from China, Vietnam, Indonesia. The people are coming to India to at the time India and Nepal they're all same. So he was conducting the entrance examination. The Vedic scholar. He ran the medical school in 600 BC. He was doing he's a very funny that if you see you can recognize is a surgical equipment is in the Los Angeles Museum of Art. I don't know how did they ended up there. All his writings, surgical instrument, it ended up there. It was fascinating. Those 300 surgical procedures he did, units are not that much different from today. They're all a bit sophisticated a little bit, but it's not that different today that the 300, 600 years ago, he had the same ones. Can you believe that? All this, you can see scissors and everything are more or less same. Then Stewart, this guy is is a physician, is a physicist and engineer. Stout Damarov is a life creation. What he did was it's a very physics way of thinking the process. He thought that the life was created from self-organizing principles of the non-life or compounds in the under the sea. They came self-organized. The universe has some special principle. It's a self-organization. It does organize self itself. That's an intrinsic property of the universe. Then this professor is a physics professor. He studied physics. He's a doctor. He's a physicist. He was teaching engineering. Think about that. From signal engineering, is signal communication. He's teaching signal engineering. Actually, that he did. He created the first the theory of life, how the life was created in the feedback loops. He called it, because that non-organic compounds, inorganic compounds get together with a self-organized and started doing a thermal reaction. So then the next one is that so order and disorder. When you this is the one thing a lot of people ask me. This is a very physics. If you take a black tea, and you put a milk on it, it goes slowly seeping into the entire tea. But during that process, that milk, that is called complexity. We call it as a physicist people come. Not if it becomes the tea becomes white, that's not a complex. We know that homogeneous. But during the process, that moving that milk into spreading across the tea is that is we call complexity. That complexity is life. That's what he says. So that complexity, that changing that process, just we are in the and the complexity comes from the changing during the process. So he did a lot of writings on these things. He's one of the top guys. So he's still alive. But this guy is a party guy, maybe Italian guy, 1506. His name is Cardano. He is a Gerolamo Cardano. He won the cubic equation. He was a prolific gambler. He was gambling all the times. He is a doctor. So they didn't give him because he's drinking so much. They didn't give him a license. So he went to a small town in Italy. He started practicing. He's so good. He's a multidisciplinary guy. He invented the combination lock, actually. So he invented one of the equations he solved. It's called a 3D equations. Is a cubic equation. That's a very tough to solve during that time. That is if you wanted to see 2D reconstruction to 3D reconstruction, ENT, all those nose and everything, all the body reconstruction, it has to be, you have to use a mathematics, 3D differential equation. That is the cubic equation he has to use. Even the PowerPoint that you're seeing, the curves of all the fonts that you see uses a cubic equation. So it is he learned from Leonardo da Vinci. Is the father of the medicine. He learned all those things, mathematics from him. He's a doctor, and then he's a prolific gambler. But he's a game theory. He wrote a game theory book. He's a very well known Gerolamo Cardano is a doctor. He is a mathematician, and he's more famous for mathematics. So my friend. He's a good. I used to meet him in Silly CNN. Sanjay Gupta. He is a neurosurgeon. He's a doctor. He's an author. He wrote a lot of books. I used to meet him when I was in Atlanta. So he used to come to the OPI functions, the Indian doctors functions. So he's kind of I say, so he's kind of a polymathy guy who's still living. The first stethoscope actually was invented by, this is René Lennox. He's a physician, musician, carpenter. He's a carpenter. Can you believe that? He is a flute player. So what he did was, there was a crisis in the 1500s, 1700s. There was a crisis. There was a mount in Indonesia. The mount was blew up, and the ash it covered entire Europe. It was dark and a lot of respiratory problems. What he did was, so during this time, he used to see a lot of young women. So he doesn't want to touch his, ear to the listen to the lungs. So what he did was he used that because he has a flute. So he created a first stethoscope. Look like a flute actually. First stethoscope. He did that so he became he is a physician, he's a carpenter, he's a musician. So when you are exposing to different things, you come up with the great ideas. Our backgrounds and all those things. He really, I learned a lot from different people actually. That is one of the things he learned is exposing to the different things. That's very important. So doctors to invade, you need to be a little bit more exposed. So I told you this guy, Warren McCall, is a birth of AI. Credit goes to him. A doctor, computer scientist, a mathematician, is a poet. That, don't let the Silicon Valley people take away from their credit from the doctors. So neural network, this is the works. The way it works is neural networks is so. I want to give you a brief example of a neural network. Is that suppose you give a picture of the new dog or cat? How does it find out? It gives a weight. They call it a weights. So what it does is it goes to eyes and check the eyes. That the weight. It adjusts the weights. So if there's a dog eyes, what is the prominence in the dog nose? So nose has a lot of weight. So it's a number. It gives you different numbers. So that if that number is higher when they recognize it, that is now it checks all the dogs now. It's more towards the dogs. So it's a weight kind of a things they do. Even the transformer networks now, large language models, they use the weights actually fundamental to the AI network. So they give a different things, the weights to the particular characteristics. That's a weight they're giving a weight. So, but it's a little bit more complicated. So why doctors needs to learn more about this multidisciplinary thinking? Here, you know, Dr. Subedi is explaining, in Nepal, the patients go, that in the mountains, some people on the ground and everywhere. It's a very geographically very diverse Nepal is. So you have to understand how the people coming. The doctors are doctors only think about is the patient is in my office. I'm going to see in the exam room and give some medicine. But do you know the journey, care journey? Who is picking them up? They don't know how to ride a how to take a who use a Uber. The patients in America, maybe they may not be technology savvy. Do they have money for the cab? Do they anybody if they have a disabilities? Who is accompanying them? And who is picking up the medicines for them? That journey from starting from home all the way to the going home way back home that's part of the care journey. It's not, you cannot isolate it from just giving a medicine. You have that journey is now you can clearly define through engineering, through the software. You can create a platform care journey. That's why you need to learn user experience. Now, patient experience, that's what I call. So you need to learn all the steps. If you learn it, it's an amazing, your ideas go different way. So how do I help these people from A to Z going back to the home? They start from home, come to the waiting room, and then register it, go into the exam room, and then get the medicine from doctor, pick up the medicines, and go home. That is a journey. Just I'm giving you simple journey. It couldn't be complicated in certain places. Patient privacy. That's the second one is why patient privacy. Is because of the people, insurance companies. Once they, some of these people discriminate people. So that's a big problem. So blockchain is a methodology that we use. Blockchain is induced. It's a mathematical function. You cannot break it. That is by design itself. You cannot break it. So it's very difficult to break chain. For example, uh, it's immutable. Immutable means if I say something, it is registered. I cannot lie. That when I owe you $5 to you, if I say that $5 I owe you, that is there in the blockchain. You cannot dispute that again. You cannot change it. You cannot lie anymore. Politicians are scared of the blockchain actually because they have to change all these words. You can only change is the all the other people agree upon. Yes, she said that. Now you want to change that. That's fine. But you said that. They're all the chain of command, the democratic way. They vote for it. That's called minors. They vote for it. It's a computationally very intensive. So blockchain is immutability. It's a mathematical function. You cannot break it. So if you tell something there, it's there. So that is you need to learn why that's important. So patients write records, patients, doctors write a patient the EMR. It is there. You cannot change it. That is, some people used to do that. When I was in 1980s, somebody wants to come down and check on those files. They used to change. They used to get caught. But now with the blockchain, you cannot change. There is a much more intensity there. The blockchain. Yeah, now AI, artificial intelligence. Now this is kind of a scary part, a little bit for doctors. Is a new thing is coming of artificial intelligence. It is an NVIDIA came up with a nurse bot. It is amazing. I saw it. I tell you, it can do triage and everything. It can do everything a nurse can do. So, do they replace the doctors? No, you cannot replace the doctor. I tell you why. AI cannot invent new rules. It is just still there is a lot of fallacy that it did not have the it is It is complexity is missing. The complex, it doesn't know. It may tell you, assist you to the doctor, but sometimes it can go wrong too. It can give you wrong advice. So AI is replacing doctor is a way far from here. Don't worry, I can promise you from Silicon Valley, that's a long way from there. They can assist you still doctors. They're part and parcel of life.
Maybe maybe he'll need that nurse board at
Yeah,
his
that's what you
clinic.
can take it. Yeah, that's a NurseBot. It actually is available. So NurseBot is an NVIDIA produces their neural network because they use a very advanced GPUs and all those things. So they got these things. So the doctors have they learn to all these things is important. But anyway, thanks for learning. So driven by curiosity. Doctors, I've been dealing with the doctors the last 30 years. I can tell you one thing: any doctor from any country in the world, they're naturally curious people. With all the pressures they have, they love science, they are curious, they want to learn, is a driven not by necessity, they're driven by curiosity, they are all natural. That is something is a very one thing I can tell you about doctors dealing with the last 30 years. I dealt with thousands of doctors. I can tell you one thing: they're naturally very curious people. It is that love for science, love for thinking, learning. You cannot survive in medicine if you don't have that love. I can tell you that. You'll be gone first year itself. So it is a chemistry class. They're gone. After they were gone. So I tell you that dedication is the only the people who survive. So I hats off to the doctors. I think thanks for watching, and let me bring my guests back to the main stage, and um, let me talk with them a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you. So, what do you think, Dr. Subedi and Manisha?
It was really good. It was interesting to see all the ancient thing and it has been done before, and also to know that doctors are like us.
We need to be inventors. We need to be
Yeah, you have to
inventors,
be
right?
inventors. I
Sure.
think one of the thing is that you get some ideas that because of your backgrounds, you make an idea that I may not have it. So because of the backgrounds, that I used to have a very good. I learned. I had a friend, a Korean friend. She One thing I learned is Korean letters are all compact, so they know how to design on phone all the letters much easier. They know how to design the phone, fits everything there. How much you can fit in, how can you read it. If I write my language, you can fit up. We write the whole book there, and nobody can read it. So this is a very interesting. Every culture produces something. So tell us, Manisha, a little bit about your. I'm very fascinated by that. With all the pressures you had, you produced this. What drive you who gave you the drive? You have two kids, and then one is that is you have to be special needs kid, and then on the top of it you have to take care of the two kids, and then take care of the medicine and patients. How do you do that, and what inspired you to do that?
So my struggle, like my challenges, made me develop this, like in the platform, and how who motivated Ananta. He's here. He's always like go for it, because if it was just me, I would be like, it's okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But I think we also need someone to like push you and really believe in you. So that's what I got from him. And just like thinking about all the challenges, all the moms, like everyone I talked to are going through the same situation, and I'm like thinking on my back, it can't be normal. Like it can't this can't be normal. It has to change. Like at some point, we are talking about AI and robot, and we are not even taking care of the basic
Yeah.
human needs. That is not practical. And me coming from Nepal, right? In Nepal, we have such a good support during that time. It's like We have a cleaner, we have a massage therapist, we have a cook in our house, like everything coming from developing country, like, like where they, but then they understand, like you have a break, you have a care and such a good rest, and coming here and struggling and juggling through everything despite, like, everything new, everything challenging, and going through that emotionally and physically, it's so challenging. And just talking to everyone, moms out there, and like listening to stories, it just like I just felt inside that it
So,
needs to be changed.
Dr. Subedi,
Like,
you're from Kathmandu. You also went to school in Kathmandu, right? So tell me a little bit about
Yeah,
Kathmandu.
we
Who
did.
inspired you? Is a teacher or parents? Who inspired you to become a doctor?
So as you know, in Southeast Asia, either you become a doctor or engineer, right? That's what most of the parents expect you, right? But I think for me, beginning from my school, I had always interest in health sciences. So I did some major in health sciences in my high school. And when I did my undergrad, I always have interest in biology. So that's why I get into medical school. And fortunately, I did pretty well in medical school. And then after that, I had a lot of instructors that came from the US in our medical school.
Really?
So many of them were instructors in the US. So I got a little bit of understanding of how the healthcare system is in the US, how is the training, how is the education. So I felt that it might be the best place to go to get further training. And that's how we came to the US. Almost it's now more than 15 years now, right?
yeah.
And then I got some of my training from one of the like Hopkins. I used to rotate in Hopkins for some of my rotation, and I met one of the rheumatologists there who really inspired me to be a rheumatologist. He was a very kind gentleman, a very kind doctor, kind human being, and an excellent doctor. So I followed him for a couple of rotation, and then I felt, oh, this is what I love. That's why I got into rheumatology.
A lot of younger generation will follow you. They are your mentors for them, husband and wife. They're working together, innovating together, and you will be the two models, great models, husband and wife team. Is a really thank you just talking with us. I'm truly an honor and privilege to have you on my podcast. Thank you, Dr. Manisha Ghimire, and then Dr. Ananti Subedi. Thank you so much, sir. You give me a final word if you want to say, Manisha. Go ahead and give me ladies first. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me in this podcast, and I really, really enjoyed it, talking to you and learning about the topic. I forgot the topic name.
Polymath.
Yeah,
You are a polymath, actually, both of you
yeah,
are.
yeah,
So thank you
yeah.
all. Good night, all
And
of you. So good night. You can stay on the line. I will talk with you a couple of minutes after the broadcast. Good night, all of you. Good night.
We are
Thank you.
retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it